Shout out to my brother Yami for sending me this link from somebody on Patreon. I believe it came from the brother Turner Classic 86. Very, very, very insightful in regards to this interview. And it's refreshing to hear from a sound mind in regards to the events that they push because it's a lot of propaganda out here. It's a lot of lies. So it's very important for us to conform to the truth because the lies will continue to get spread. The lies will continue to be told from the people that's in high level positions, especially from the TV. So it's important for us to distinguish what the truth is in this world. But I wanted to cover this because it's very important. This coronavirus shit is very confusing and it's very annoying. But it's not to take away from the legitimacy of it. It is legit, but at the end of the day, it's overblown. It's a 99.9% recovery rate for certain people. For most of the people in the world, it only affects old people and people who have fucked up immune systems. So at the end of the day, when you have a 99.9% recovery rate for a virus, what does that tell you about why they doing these things in regards to shutting down businesses and pushing all these financial bills when it comes to the stimulus and all this stuff? Because we understand that agendas are what's being pushed. The true modus operandi is the agendas. We know that the economy is going to crash soon. We know all this stuff. So we just got to prepare and, put our mind towards what's important. That's the most high.
Gerald Celente, publisher of the Trends Journal, is back to give us his overview of the economy and what's going on in America that investors need to be paying attention to right now. Gerald, it's been several months since we spoke. It seems like yesterday and nothing's changed in our environment, in our economy, in our society. But actually, it's been, 6, 7, 5 months? I don't even remember. It was a long time ago, Gerald. Nothing's changed.
Yeah, no, everything's just fine. Now back to normal. Life is the way it should be. Nobody is. The streets are dead. The streets are dead, 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 dead. And so is the human spirit. What's going on now is unprecedented. Yeah. But in the United States, there's only one story, everybody. Don't look at anything else going on around the world. Don't look at any of the geopolitical events. Don't look at any socioeconomic events. The impeachment. Did I tell you about the impeachment? Hey, what about the impeachment? Did you hear about the impeachment? Let me tell you more about the impeachment. People don't have a clue what's going on. What's going on?
Because people are sheep. And 2020 really proved itself when it comes to how sheep people are, for lack of a better expression. A lot of people are asleep and they're sheep out here. They just conform to whatever the dictates of the higher levels of society, whatever they push. Wear masks, even though the fucking mask wearing doesn't make any type of fucking sense. Stay 6 feet apart, even though that doesn't make any type of fucking sense. Stay in your homes, even though that doesn't make any type of fucking sense. Especially when, it's something that's enforced so heavy without even doing any research on it. It's just, let's just lock up everything. It's annoying. And it just goes to show you what the agenda is. This whole world is just so corrupt, man. So corrupt.
The world is unprecedented. Look at the UK is locked down again. Hey, how about over there in Montreal where you are? Locked down again. Oh, the first lockdown that you were in that never ended virtually? That worked terrific, didn't it? Oh, it didn't work, but we're going to do it again. How about there in California? Oh, that was the first state in the United States. That little boy, Newsom Gruesome, whatever his name is, where, hey, you got to stay home. You got to close down your restaurant. But, hey, me and my friends, we're going to the French Laundry. Hey, it's only $400 a dinner. We could do whatever we want, sit around, but we're locking everybody else down. It didn't work before, but we're going to do it again.
Yeah.
It's one after another.
We're going to talk about the impeachment in just a minute, but let's talk about the economy first. So, people I've spoken to, economists I've spoken to, were concerned about a second wave of bankruptcies in 2021. And I don't know if you think that's going to happen. Where do you stand on this discussion? Because, like you said, where I live, we're back in lockdown, and small businesses, I don't know. I haven't spoken to a lot of small business owners myself, but I don't know if they can sustain themselves after a second round of lockdown. The first round was bad enough last year. What's
How
going
are
to
they going to
happen now,
sustain
Gerald?
themselves? Where are they going to get the money from? Oh, the government's going to give you some peanuts here. Here, go on, go on. No, no, this is on the bank. Well, look, it's in our Trends Journal. We just wrote about the bankruptcies. Now you're going to start seeing really starting piling up now, because a lot of people borrowed money. A lot of the companies borrowing binge it's beyond the belief. And again, it all ties in together. What's only holding this together are the governments, the central banks and the governments pumping in all this monetary methadone into the system to keep it artificially drugged up. Period, paragraph.
And that's all it's about. You know, with all these stimulus checks and all these loans, so on and so forth. It's all artificial. And it's been artificial because we know it's just fiat money. It's not real money. It's not backed by anything. You know, the more they continue to print the money, the more debt incurs. The increase in debt because of the printing of the money. It's not backed by anything. It's not real money. So that's why the debt chart, when you look at it, is an increase. There's almost $30 trillion in debt in this world because the money is not real.
Look at the United States. What, another $3 trillion now. Biden's coming in. More cheap money, more cheap money, more cheap money. I can't figure out why Bitcoin's going up so high. Don't understand why gold prices are still so high, why silver's going up. Can't figure it out. Yeah, you really got to be stupid not to see it. Everybody that's investing in these things knows that what they're doing. And by the way, there's an end game to this. And the way we see it is they're going to start doing away with all the currencies and coming up with new names for them, and they're all going to be digital. They're going to be digital. We're getting rid of them dirty dollars. You don't want to touch that crap. Oh, you're going to get the virus if you touch that dirty money. It's only been around forever. So we're going digital. Now they'll know every penny that you spent, where you spent it, who you gave it, on and on and on.
And then you're going to be currency. I mean, we're currency now, but you're going to really be currency because they're going to implant that chip in you. You feel what I'm saying? And that's where shit really going to get real. It's going to be a real new world. They trying to make us embrace this quote unquote new normal where you see all these commercials with motherfuckers wearing masks where they don't need to wear the mask. It's just to continue to show us that we living in a different world now when you necessarily don't really have to wear the fucking mask. Even with the NBA, it doesn't make any sense that they wear the mask on a sideline, but they play the damn basketball game without the mask. Even though it's logical that they don't play the basketball game without the mask, but it's illogical in regards to the distinction where you have them wearing the mask on the sideline and not, in regards to them not wearing the mask on the court. As if coronavirus is gonna disappear if they get off the court. Like, it's just fucking, it's silly, man. It's so silly. And that's what I mean in regards to how they overblow it. It's not that serious for you to shut all this shit down. That's how you know that it's agendas behind all these things, man. It's agendas.
So the politicians, politics, got it? Politics, many ticks could suck that money out of you. Do you think any of these people, these politicians that are closing down every place, give a damn about the people that are losing their jobs when they don't have to worry about anything because they steal our money in the name of taxes and they get their benefits, they get their money coming in, they have their health care, they got their pensions. So they're going to go digital.
You raised an interesting point while we were talking offline, and the politicians have closed down small businesses but left Costco, Walmart, and the box stores open, well, with certain restrictions. Why do you think they've done that? I mean, I don't know. There must be some sort of scientific reason as to why smaller businesses are closed down, right?
Yeah, right. Oh, they've provided all the science that we could never, ever see. Everything they're doing, again, we put out a magazine. It's usually around 90 to 100 pages a week. No ads, only facts. I was the assistant to the Secretary of the New York State Senate at 26 years old. It was the worst job I ever had, to watch grown men grovel to suck their way up to the top. Do you know who these slimy little boys and girls are? They're the people you hated in high school and college that wanted to be class president and head of the student council. They're moron, little, imbecile, arrogant people. They don't know anything. And why they let the bigs go? Did you ever hear of a thing called campaign contributions? That's what morons and imbeciles call it. It's called bribes and payoffs. The bigs could get anything. Hey, the big banks, they're too big to fail. You could go screw yourself. Oh, they're too big to jail. But listen, if you break that curfew, the commie COVID cops are going to come out and get you. Hey, but how about that JP Morgan Chase gang? You know, the ones that rigged the precious metals market and just got fined $900 million for. Oh, yeah, that's all right. Let them pay a little couple of pennies. They've only been doing this for years. They screwed how many people that invested in this? They could get away with it. They don't have to.
And just to chime in about the whole curfew thing, it just goes to show you how silly this shit is. Like COVID, doesn't appear until after 10 or some shit. Like, it's just fucking stupid, man. It's really silly. And it just goes to show you, like I said, the validity of this shit. I'm not saying it's not legit, but I'm just talking about how serious they try to make it, as if it's just this deadliest thing ever that touched the planet Earth. Like, come on, man. You got a fucking curfew behind this shit? It's crazy, man.
But we the little people of Slavelandia, we get fined to the hardest degree of the law. That's why the bigs are allowed to do anything, because we've been sold out. What is going on now, again, we only put the facts in the magazine. Not one scintilla of scientific evidence for them to be doing what they're doing. And these stupid masks that everybody wears, anybody could read the box. These masks do not eliminate exposure to any risk of any disease or infection. All right? So what they're doing, hey, I'm in Italy, you have to be 1 meter apart. Well, I'm in France, you have to be 1.3 meters apart. I'm in the United States, you must be 6 feet apart. Hey, the wind's blowing everywhere when you're outside. Oh, and when you sit down in a restaurant, when they allow you to open, you're allowed to eat without a mask on. But when you stand up, you must put that mask on. How about go screw yourself? These are the same imbeciles that had me as a kid hiding under a desk in case an atom bomb went off. Like that was going to save my life.
Yeah.
The streets are empty. Businesses are dead. There's going to be a fake bounce back around probably spring.
Let's talk about this bounce back. You wrote about this in the Trends Journal. I'm just going to quote your report here. Yes, there will be an economic bounce back, but it will be a sharp move upward, followed by a long-term downturn as the greatest depression spreads across the globe. So can you walk us through the timeline here? So what's going to cause this bounce back, first of all?
Well, what they're going to do is they're going to dump money in and things are going to come back. They're going to start easing these things up. And again, it's everything about you got to get vaccinated. They're drug dealers, all right? You got to get vaccinated. Hey, my drug is okay. Take my drug. Anyway, that's going to be the line. And it is the line. And we write about that, actually.
You got to get a vaccine for a virus that has a 99.9% recovery rate. Okay. And I'm hearing that they try to give you the vaccine in your ass or some shit like that. I forget what country it was, but I believe there were people that were volunteering to get the shit injected in their ass. Like, what type of crazy shit is this world that we live in, man? It's crazy. They saying that it's COVID-19 and some ice cream. So apparently you shouldn't eat that ice. I forget what ice cream it was, but I saw some shit about how there's COVID-19 in a certain ice cream. Like, what is that? Like, shit is crazy, man.
Quoting everybody from the auto industry to the travel industry, one after another. Oh, when the vaccine comes, everything's... So it's going to come back, but there's not going to be new jobs. They're not going to be... what they're going to be doing is they're going to be replacing older jobs, the jobs that have been lost. New ones won't be coming in. So it's going to look like a bounce back. Yeah, it's going to come back, but it's artificial. What's been destroyed has been destroyed. The people that have been out of business, look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. What are they saying? Yelp, 60% of the restaurants aren't going to open. I was just reading from out of, I think it was Ontario. They said that 114,000 businesses have already gone out. And then again, you look at who's dying, why, and where. And these are the facts. The recovery rate is only 99.7%. Between people 1 to 20 years old, it's only 99.997%. In Canada, I'm not making these numbers up, they're from the government. 70% of the people that have died are from nursing homes. In the UK, 388 people that have died from this are under the age of 60. Now we're talking March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Now we're in January, and you're telling me that 388 people under that age died? And what are you telling me this stuff for? I'm telling you, there's going to be a fake recovery. It's going to be the Biden bounce. It's going to look great, but it's going to go down big time.
Don't you think that as an investor now would probably be a good time to be investing? Because like you said, we're at a pretty bad place already. Any bounce back from here will look good on paper, but it might also just look good for your bank account, right? If you're an investor, you're buying in at the sort of the low.
Hey, the Biden bounce, that sound like a dance move. Hey, yo, do the Biden bounce. Yo, my fault. My fault. I just, for some reason, I don't know why that just came in my head. It just sounded like a dance move. Do the Biden bounce, you heard?
In terms of an economic condition, and it can only go up from here, right?
Well, yes and no, because when you're looking at the equity markets in the United States, your PE ratio is over 22. And, you know, the average is what, around 16 something and 17. So they're way overpriced. That's why you're seeing a lot of money, by the way, now going into the emerging markets. The gamblers are going there.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be it's going to be a dreadful winter for the economy. So the gamblers are going into the emerging markets. They'll still keep. I believe that we're going to see a sharp bear market in the United States. It's going to happen.
Yeah, sharp bear market in the United States. So why are people going overseas then to the emerging markets?
Well, your PE ratios are a lot lower.
Yeah.
And they borrow money in dollars. So now the dollar's going down. So the money's cheaper for them. So the gambling game is going over there for a while. Long term, we're looking at gold this year to break over 2,100. And we're looking for silver to break well over $50 an ounce. And Bitcoin, it's again, in last week's Trends Journal on January 5th, we said that there would be a sharp correction in Bitcoin coming up. And just 3 days later, 4 days later, it corrected 10%.
Right.
So they're overvalued right now. But where is it going to go and how high it's going to go is anyone's guess as I see it. Because the world knows, the people that are tuned into what's going on knows that they're just pumping in this artificial money backed by nothing and printed on nothing in country after country.
Yeah. So, Gerald, when you're making these forecasts for different various asset classes, what are the main drivers you're looking for? Are you looking at an economic recovery?
Yes, he is a financial prognosticator. That's what he is. A financial prognosticator. He definitely makes predictions based off of the economic market in regards to certain countries.
Are you looking at sort of COVID cases dying down? Are you looking for monetary policy stimulus? Are you looking for where capital flows are going, valuations. You brought up PEs. So, what are some of the most important drivers for you, Gerald?
All of them. And that's the thing about trend forecasting. But you also look at the geopolitical things going on.
Yeah.
So now let's take where are the new hotspots going to happen? Well, to us, we're staying in the Middle East, and particularly areas such as with Saudi Arabia, Yemen, and Turkey, and Greece, and that whole area over there. Ethiopia, what's going on in Ethiopia, and the war going on with the Tigray people. And so now you also had, it's not only Ethiopia, you have Uganda, you have Central Africa, one after another. You're seeing explosions over there. So what does that mean? Oh, South Africa. How about South Africa? The reason I'm mentioning this is that in 2019, you had the New World Disorder. You had protesting revolutions, civil wars going on in South Africa, Chile protests, riots, Colombia, Bolivia, France, Hong Kong, Algeria, Lebanon, one country after another. This is 2019. You had Europe going in, you had Germany going into a recession in 2019. You had Japan going into a recession in 2019. It was going down before that. Now you're having all these protests. People are protesting a lack of basic living standards, corruption, crime, violence. Now you have all these wars breaking out. You think you had a refugee and migrant crisis before? Hey, how about south of the border down Mexico way, huh? Oh, yeah, it's wonderful down there. Yeah, South America's a mess, no tourism anymore. So now you're going to start seeing more violence, more protests, more migrations. This is going to explode beyond the imagination of the mainstream media that's locked into one stupid story at a time and always selling fear. So again, you have to look at the geopolitics as well as all of the economic measures that you also mentioned.
Yeah, I like to ask you about geopolitics. It's good that you brought that up. Biden's administration, what's he going to do with his relationship, with our relationship with China, with Iran, Iraq, the Middle East, Syria? What's going to happen to all these different hotspots that we were in? And now, of course, the trade war is, people stopped talking about the trade war after COVID, but it's still ongoing. Let's just don't forget that.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the trade war. Hey, did you see that latest deficit the United States just had and China's imports? Yeah, it just hit I think a 24-year, something high. That's how. So the trade war meant nothing. America lost the trade war. One of our top trends for 2021, China 2021. The 20th century was the American century. The 21st century is going to be the Chinese century. The business of China is business. The business of America is war. Hey, they just passed that budget a little while ago, that defense budget in the United States, as everything's going down, one of the biggest defense budget, and the biggest one. Plus, when you put in the whole intelligence complex into it, intelligence, of course, is an oxymoron, considering what they do. It's over $1 trillion, $1.3 trillion. China's investing all over the world, from South America to across Asia, around the world, buying up ports everywhere. So, and you look also in 2020, when you're going to look at the GDPs of every major nation, they'll all be negative except one, China. China's going to have positive GDP growth in 2020 as the rest of the world went down. So we're looking at a China takeover. And again, China takeover in many ways. They used to make fun of the people in China for wearing these things all the time. But of course, the reason they're wearing them is because of air pollution. Only 1.5 million people die each year in China from air polluted related diseases. 1.67 just reported out of India. But we got to watch the COVID, right? Okay. I'm mentioning this because when I say the Chinese way, look at the dictates that have happened all over in the so-called democracies in the Western worlds, where now you have leaders telling you what to do, and constitutions and Bill of Rights mean nothing. These aren't laws passed, they're dictates. Going back to China, China is going to be the powerhouse of the 21st century. We're looking at the United States now, and when you look at the dollar as well, It's like looking at England around 1920, after World War II, or one rather. And the pound goes down, the dollar goes up. While the yuan right now only accounts for about 3% of global trade, we see that becoming a powerhouse currency in the future, and the dollar going down.
Okay. Yeah, Gerald, you brought up dictators and all these different places. Let's talk about the U.S. now. Who's more powerful in the United States, the politicians or the corporations here? Right. Let's just take a look at last week. Twitter banned Trump. Some other politicians. Ron Paul just got banned from Facebook. What's going on here? What's this?
How does the fucking president of the United States get banned from a free speech platform? It just goes to show you, man, a quote unquote free speech platform. Because obviously it's not a free speech platform if you ban the goddamn president of the fucking United States. Like, this world is so like it's like one of those things where it's black and white. It's either you on this side or you're not. And if you're not on this side, then you're wrong. You know what I mean? So the white side is liberalism. The black side is,
Alexa
conservatism.
Is not enabled on your Altis Amplify. For help, go to your Altis Amplify app.
Excuse me, brothers. I got to turn my other speaker off. That's my little amplifier. I apologize for the interruption. But it just go to show you what type of world we live in. You feel what I'm saying? It's all based off of the binary thought. You got to be on this side. You can't be on that side. You can't have a mind of your own. It's fucking ridiculous.
That's happening.
Again, we wrote about this. It was one of our top trends for 2018. Censorship 2.0. Hate Trump, love Trump, dumb Trump, whatever you want to call him. You have a private group that's censoring the president of the United States. This isn't freedom. You can't say a congresswoman said that Hitler had it right by getting the youth and getting them on his side. She was condemned for saying that. I was taken off LinkedIn for a while for saying in one of my broadcasts that people are obeying like they did in World War II. I said, yeah, all aboard, next train to Auschwitz, put on your mask. I got banned for saying Auschwitz. I've been thinking about this. When the COVID war began, where did it happen? Oh, Kirkland, Washington. Nursing homes. I'm going back to February 2020. Then all of a sudden, these characters, look at them. Look at their faces, the Zuckerbergs, the Dorseys. Look at them, out of this world. All of a sudden, Dorsey, the Twitter guy, was going to make a trip to South Africa. He canceled it. Everybody could stay home. Everybody could work from home. Then one after another, Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley was the first one to lock down. First one. You could work from home. Hey, all of a sudden their stocks started skyrocketing, didn't they? I think the NASDAQ only went up, about 45 points last year? 45%? 45%? Now you can work from home. You don't have to travel. And our tech companies are growing big. They're the ones that started telling people to work from home and started selling the fear the most, and they cashed in the most. They are in control.
Okay, well, yeah, that's another whole topic for another time, Gerald. I'd love to follow up with you on that. Finally, I'd love to talk about the impeachment. I did say we would go back to this. You started with that. Let's end with this. Okay, what's going on in Congress? What's happening?
It means nothing. They impeached Trump once before. We said it's totally useless. What difference does it make? He wasn't going to get impeached the first time. The Republicans had it, the majority in the Senate.
They're voting on it right now as we speak on Wednesday. I think they, what was the latest?
Now, this was from 2 weeks ago, obviously, so. This is, just put everything in context because, obviously Trump is over. So we're on to a new narrative now. We're now in the quote unquote Biden era now.
Update. I think they needed Mike Pence's sort of
Yeah. Again,
ratification of the 25th Amendment.
Nothing. It means nothing. He's going to be out of there in a couple of days.
Well, I think it also means he can't run for re-election, right? If he wants to run for a second term.
He's gone. He's finished. He's over. Are you kidding? They're going to go after this guy when he gets out of there. Hey, what business is he in? A big business in? Oh, yeah, the hotel business. Oh, it's doing great. It was, tourism is wonderful. And then he has all these other lawsuits that are going to be hitting him. And then they're taking all his products off that he's selling. No, Trump days are over. And again, it's a waste of energy and time in America as we should be focusing on the future.
Yeah.
And they're focused on the past.
Yeah.
And again, this is very important. America, oh yeah, we're number one. Biggest defense in the world. Oh yeah, we'll invade any country, anywhere, at any time. And you can't stop a bunch of people from going into your Capitol building?
That's because that was a psyop. That was staged. And everybody know that's staged. And if you don't know, then you're a fucking fool and you under a rock. You need to get out that damn rock. Get from under that rock. That was staged. There was plenty of fucking psyops that occur over the last hundreds of years. This world that we live in is a whole stage, man. So I just wanted to cover that, and I thank you guys for supporting the channel. I'll be doing more videos in the upcoming days. So thank y'all. God bless you all. Peace. Power to you all.